Hey, and welcome back. Recently, Bill O'Reilly locked horns with presidential hopeful Donald Trump on what the Constitution says about automatic citizenship for children of illegal immigrants. Take a look.
Bill, I think you're wrong about the 14th Amendment. And frankly, the whole thing with anchor babies and the concept of anchor babies, I don't think you're right about that. I think
can quote it. You want me to quote you the amendment? If you're born here, you're an American. Period. Period.
But there are many lawyers are saying that's not the way it is in terms of this.
So what does the Constitution say? I want to ask the constitutional expert of the land. It's Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst.
Thank you for that introduction.
Indeed. So you know the Constitution better than anybody.
These guys are both friends of mine. One of them is a colleague of mine here, Bill O'Reilly. One of them I have in the interest of full disclosure, a financial relationship with. I own a piece of real estate that one of Mr. Trump's companies manages. But Bill is right and Donald is wrong. The 14th Amendment could not be clearer. It doesn't matter the circumstances under which the pregnant mother came here. It doesn't matter what her intent is or was. If the baby is born here, even if the mother takes the baby away the moment after birth, the baby is an American citizen. When the courts are construing language like that in the Constitution, they're construing the plain meaning of the language at the present time. They're not construing what the language ought to have meant in 1868 when it was enacted, and obviously was enacted in order to force the states to recognize the citizenship of the recently freed slaves. They also had in mind Native Americans who had been born here and who had never been considered to be citizens. And the courts have never deviated from their interpretation of exactly what that means.
That's you said, not one time. And what are the chances that the Constitution would be amended?
It's very cumbersome, intentionally so, to amend. It would require, by ordinary means, a vote of 2/3 of each House of Congress and a ratification of 3/4 of the states. There's another means, a constitutional convention. It's even less likely. We've only had one in American history. One of our colleagues, I won't tell you who, said, suppose the mother commits a crime in coming here. Can we strip the baby of citizenship? I gave a very harsh answer. That's what the Nazis did, punished children for the alleged misdeeds of their parents. We don't do that.
All right. Well, Chelsea Clinton's mother, she might have committed some crimes in this country, and I'd like to shift our attention over there. Now, in her exchange with Ed Henry, Mrs. Clinton pretended to play dumb about the meaning of wiping her server that had been turned over to the FBI. If she did, in fact, wipe that server clean, could that spell more legal trouble for her?
Oh, sure. It would depend on when she wiped it clean. There's a principle in law about, the fancy phrase is anticipatory destruction. When you destroy evidence that you anticipate the government will need, even though they haven't yet actually demanded it. So it would depend upon when she attempted to wipe it clean and how successful or unsuccessful she might have been. But let me tell you a little bit about what she did. She took possession of all 88,000 emails that she sent or received in her capacity as Secretary of State. Crime number one, because under federal law, that belongs to the federal government. She deleted 33,000 that she said are a personal. Crime number two. She destroyed them. She then, in order to return the other 55,000 to the federal government, sent paper copies, not digital copies. That's crime number three, because she destroyed the metadata that accompanies the emails. But the worst crime that confronts her is the one for which General Petraeus was convicted, and that is the failure to secure classified materials. We now know that she sent and received classified materials. We know she exposed them to great danger. We know she put them in the hands of people who lacked classified security clearances. It's a question of when, not whether, the government decides to charge her.
All right, very good, Judge Napolitano. Appreciate that.
Anytime.
See, he can cover the entire scope, and we're perfectly satisfied.